Alright, UFC Sacramento is announced. Gregory Rodriguez and Anthony Hernandez. Fluffy Hernandez will headline the event. You know, the UFC has not been to Sacramento in years, and that is surprising to me considering it's literally the capital city of California, and they visit California quite a bit, but not too often do they go on that western coast, and especially Sacramento, that city specifically. But UFC's going there August 22. UFC will be heading for Sacramento, and we have an absolute banger for the main event. Anthony Fluffy Hernandez, who's won his last 8 of 9 fights, coming off a loss to Sean Strickland, who's the UFC middleweight champion at the moment as I speak, versus Gregory Robocop Rodriguez, who's won his last 3 fights. He's been KOing everybody. He's right outside the top 10, I believe. Anthony Hernandez is a top 5 guy. So it's going to be an exciting fight. I think it makes a lot of sense stylistically. I think it all depends where the fight takes place. You know, Anthony Hernandez, you really dive deep into his fighting style. He's a guy that's going to come forward. He's going to put pressure on you. He's going to work the body. He's going to look for the takedowns. That is his style. He is a grappler. However, he does have striking ability. He had a pretty good second round against Sean Strickland in their fight, which was his last fight when he lost. However, Sean Strickland did prove to be the better striker. He kind of just wore down Anthony Hernandez, and Anthony Hernandez does not get tired. You know, he's got some of the best cardio in the UFC middleweight division. One of the best some of the best cardio in UFC overall, and Gregory Rodriguez some of the best pound for pound power in the UFC overall, and his punches, you know. And let's take a look at these guys' wins. They've gone through the best in the middleweight division. Gregory Rodriguez, you know, he beat Roman Kopylov, he beat Jack Hermanson, he beat Christian Leroy Duncan. All of those guys are great fighters. They're all in the rankings in the middleweight division. Anthony Hernandez, he beat Brendan Allen, he beat Roman Kopylov, Roman Dolidze, which was a great win at the time. He also beat guys like Michel Pereira, you know. He had an 8-fight win streak at one point. He was right outside of a title shot. Had he beat Strickland, it probably would have been him versus Khamzat Chimaev, which would have made a great fight stylistically. But my point is, Anthony Hernandez is the type of fighter who's going to want to come forward. He's going to want to put pressure on RoboCop. He's going to want to take him down. Gregory Rodriguez, the power, very deadly uppercut. If he does catch Anthony Hernandez trying to take him down, that could be bad. We also know that Hernandez got hurt by a knee in his last fight against Sean Strickland. A good strike up top, if timed perfectly against Anthony Hernandez, who, like I said, is going to look to grapple, could win the fight for Gregory Rodriguez, but you can't count out Rodriguez with his power, you know. He's finished some of the best guys in the division, some of the best chins in the division. It does not matter. Gregory Rodriguez's power is insane. He's also huge for a middleweight. He's 6'3". He's going to have the height and the reach on Anthony Hernandez. He's going to look to use that. He's got insane power. Anthony Hernandez, if he can drag this fight to the later rounds, we know that Gregory Rodriguez does slow down as the fight progresses. We saw this in the Cannonier fight like a year or two back. That was Gregory Rodriguez's last loss. Both these guys have been insanely active recently. So if Anthony Hernandez can drag the fight out, can take him down where Gregory Rodriguez down. We know that Gregory Rodriguez is a decent defensive grappler. His takedown defense is 75%, which is good on paper. However, you also have to look at the guys he's fought. He has not fought a grappler like Anthony Hernandez. He really hasn't fought a grappler at all. I mean, a couple decent grapplers here and there, but Anthony Hernandez has fought a lot of great grapplers. Brendan Allen, for example, and it hasn't changed anything. His relentless pressure, his cardio, his takedowns. He's got great takedown finishing ability, so I think that if he can take Gregory Rodriguez to the ground, Rodriguez is going to be in trouble. But if Rodriguez can keep it standing, stuff just a couple takedowns, hurt Anthony Hernandez, it could be the end of the fight, similar to Strickland. And we also have to point out that while Strickland is the better technical fighter, better defensively, probably better takedown defense as well, he's fought some great grapplers and had more experience than Gregory Rodriguez. Gregory Rodriguez is like 4 times more powerful than Sean Strickland. So if you're getting finished by Sean Strickland, it's not going to take many punches from Gregory Rodriguez before you're out of there. But Rodriguez has to defend the grappling. He's got to catch him first. Anthony Hernandez, he's got to close the distance. You know, he's got to stay away from that power of Rodriguez. And Anthony Hernandez does have some power of his own, but his fighting style is all based on pace, and he's just a relentless fighter. He's never going to stop coming forward. So this is going to make for a really entertaining matchup. You know, Anthony Hernandez is a grappler who has striking, and Rodriguez a power puncher with good takedown defense, but we'll see. You know, like I said, he's not fought a grappler like Anthony Hernandez, and Hernandez has never fought a guy with the power of Gregory Rodriguez, so something new for both fighters here. Both are coming off strong. Their both momentum is strong. You know, like I said, Hernandez has won his last 8 of 9 fights. I know he's coming off a loss, but up until that point, he was on an incredible run. Like, I think he got to 3rd in the rankings, something like that. And Gregory Rodriguez, he's won his last 3, 2 of those fights by finish. And I think he's won his last 5 of 6. So this is going to be an interesting fight. UFC Sacramento. UFC has not been there for a while, and they got an amazing main event. We'll see how they build the card around it, but it's a good start for UFC Sacramento. So that'll go down in about 2 months, August 22nd, I believe that's the date. So let me know in the comments if you guys like the video, what you think of this matchup. Who do you guys have? Make sure you like the video, subscribe for more, turn on notifications. I'm trying to get some more content out to you guys soon. Maybe start a Best Striker series. I'd like to start that kind of soon. Gotta make some kind of video idea since there is no fight this weekend, but have a great day. Make sure you subscribe.